Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I think the stream might be working this time. We have arrived for the 6th round of the ARC Formula 1 Realistic Cars Championship, the penultimate race of it, in fact. And this one is the Belgian Grand Prix. As the stream gets started about a third of the way through the qualifying session, courtesy of me forgetting to actually sign into the ARC account before starting the stream. So I had to, sign into the ARC account. That's sort of how it works, yeah. Only a handful of laps have been tallied at the moment. Only about 5 have been finished. Currently, the fastest among them, a 43.88 by Fidel Fabian, who now is no longer just a reserve. He's done so many races reserving for HRT that HRT has just straight up signed him as the actual driver for the Red Bull. I think this is now, in 6 races, his 4th start in the Red Bull. Matthew Daly just behind with a 44.13, Boryoshi with a 44.7, Drugensmeyer with a 45.2. There's AJ Kinnickle with a 44.44. And then Dylan Thomas, 46.3, Luke Allen, 46.7 on medium tires. If my voice sounds slightly off, it is because I am just getting rid of the last remnants of a common cold that is still affecting my vocal cords and occasionally my nostrils. So I'll be probably muting the mic during safety cars to clear my throat a bunch and or blow my nose so I can actually talk. Other than that, I am a solid 97%. So I figured I'm not going to miss another week for this, because this ultimately isn't all that debilitating compared to even other common colds I've had in my life. My lungs and vocal cords and everything else associated would probably be on fire by the time that things are done here, but that's a problem for future me. Already caused me to miss what drivers were saying was one of the most entertaining races last week at Monza, where Boryoshi actually took the victory following a late race incident involving his teammate Luke and Fidel Fabian battling for the lead. It seems only fitting I would miss probably the best race and then come back to this week where we have a 12-car grid. I'm not exactly sure why attendance is so meh today. Maybe it's because of the fact that, actually no, I do know. This always happens near the end of pretty much any season in any series. Drivers that are no longer in the championship hunt sometimes just stop caring. But then the opposite of that spectrum, not being in the championship hunt sometimes inspires certain drivers to, send it or end it, as it were. Is anybody on a lap that's like a decent ways along? There's a lot of laps that are starting. That's starting, this is starting. No, I think Jamie Knock is actually the furthest along at the moment, and he just got invalid, so never mind, no he's not. Dylan Thomas is the furthest along. Ugh. Yeah, Patari makes its way through the S section down the hill to Stavlo to which is a deceptively difficult corner on this game, as the car, I think, bottoms out there sometimes, and if you don't have the proper front downforce, you can very easily just skate off into that outside barrier and end your race, and probably other people's too while you're at it. Because the track slightly bottlenecks there, and apparently Thomas is not satisfied. Yoshi's invalid, so Jurgensmeyer is the only person, like, decently along his lap at the moment. Has to wheel the car out of the last two turns. He slams the brakes to make it so that that lap is not his personal best, following that mistake. Matthew Daly is making his way around, trying to issue a challenge to the current pole time of a 43.98. That Alfa Romeo is gonna get right the hell in the way. That's Matthew Stott just simply failing to pay attention. I don't know how much time that has cost Daly. Guess we'll just have to see. He was 5/10 up right before that, so that might have cost him time, but it still may not have cost him pole. Oh, oh my god, I keep slipping. Oh my god, I'm out of practice. Excuse that. I'm not able to read that purple lettering with all these trees. No, that's not pole. Off by just a tenth. And that did make a difference because he was 5/10 up, so Matthew Stott has just cost Matthew Daly. The two Matthews getting in each other's way a little bit there. Stott himself on the lap now, and clearly he has absolutely no downforce on that Alfa Romeo. 213 heading towards the chicane. Lake Home. Yes, that's the one. Unlike most tracks, I actually do know most of the corner names here. That's not quite an apex. He's flirting with track limits as Matthew Stott, as he survives Puhan without suffering the wrath of the in-game stewards. That another more. Yep, there it is. You have used your in favor of the gods, and now you are invalid. What? 211 from the Haas of Kochelniak, who is back after missing Monza. Or maybe no, oh! There's a lot of curb there. Ugh. Another big cough uttered. Andrew invalidated, so he's not really going fast. This is an other direction lap. Robert Kochelniak is out of the session. I guess we are probably getting near the end of the session timer, so he just thinks that he can't even get a lap in. Matthew Stott is on his way around again. Yoshi has just begun his lap. AJ is about to begin one. Fidel Fabian is on one, so this will be the Red Bull driver's final attempt to create some insurance to secure provisional pole and, you know, make it harder to take away from him. Would be his second pole if he holds on to it. Matthew Stott's out of the session. He's not reaching the start finish, so he's not satisfied with that lap either. So the 43.88 will be his only resistance to the Ferrari duo that is about to attempt to eliminate that pole time of his. Yoshi, I think, may have spun on his lap. Yoshi's heading up to Fuhan. No, flirting with disaster on that inside curb, but manages to survive. Oh, this is not a hot lap. I was trying to say a fast lap and a hot lap at the same time. Yeah, I'm definitely out of practice. I take 2 weeks off of commentating, and suddenly I'm just inept. Great. Well, at least maybe I'll be used to commentating again by the time we get to ArcGT3 on Monday. So for the time being, just bear with me as I remember how to commentate an Arc race. So everybody's gonna get another attempt. As Jamie Knock runs a 44.78 in the Haas, so can only begin to imagine what his teammate might have done had he been able to finish a full lap. Setchel down here has a qualifying penalty. He could have retired from the session and watched. I don't know why he didn't do that. Never mind. They could have done that a while ago. So AJ Kinnickle has begun. Jamie Knock is off the track. Yoshi is not taking another lap. Jurgensmeyer is on an outlap. Jamie Knock is having an excursion. And Matthew Daly has just gotten his lap underway, so who's going to be the first to... Are you okay, Jamie? Jurgensmeyer is also not starting the lap, so the first one to finish will be AJ. As he is the furthest around the track at the moment. And he is down a tenth from his previous best, so that's not a great sign to open up the hot lap here. I would say, are the conditions different? No, they're not. It's just Codemasters we're talking about. As the session timer has expired, and we have, looks like all 6 on-track drivers are in the middle of a lap. AJ Kinnickle will be the first among them to finish. I don't know how the game didn't yell at him there. And you just let off there to, I guess, probably on some subconscious level, give back the time that he might have gained from an extension just there. Into the bus stop. And AJ is not going to improve anywhere close. Matthew Stotts is left. Matthew Daly is also not improving at the moment. Andrew Davis runs a 46.3, but that's not enough to get him any higher on the grid. And it is pole for Matthew Daly at 43.76. And it is down to, well, Dylan Thomas is coasting, so he won't be doing much. Jurgensmeyer will head up to the bus stop. Does he have any say in the matter? Can he at least get onto the second row where the Mercedes should probably be, all things considered? That's a yes. He will jump just over AJ Kinnickle and grab third on the grid. What will Luke Allen do? He's up 3/10. He's got quite a gap to surmount if he is to improve his starting grid position. And he's not going to do that. He's going to improve to a 45.1, but that's not going to get him any higher than 7th. Three drivers didn't make a lap, one who's left the session. Kochoniak, who, I don't honestly know why he didn't try again. Looks like he got damage from his spin, and then Setchel in the Williams had a qualifying penalty due to accumulated penalty points from their last appearance. So Matthew Daly will grab the pole, just over a tenth clear of Fidel Fabian. And Jamie Knock is there in 5th, picking up the slack for Haas. But I have no doubt Kochoniak will have some hidden race pace to bear. I'm going to, while we're in between sessions, try and get a drink so I stop choking every 30 seconds. Asthma attack averted by way of caffeinated beverage, because Mountain Dew is literally the only drink in the house. And I'm about to drink out of the bathroom sink, which I'm not going to do. So, as we run down the full grid order for the Belgian Realistic Grand Prix. Would it be the Realistic Belgian Grand Prix? Whatever. Matthew Daly on pole over Fidel Fabian. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, P3 in the Mercedes. Outdoing AJ Knickel, who had a mess of a final qualifying run. Jamie Knock, P5 in the Haas, picking up where his teammate could not manage in today's session of qualifying. Boryoshi in P6, just ahead of his teammate in P7. Dylan Thomas, P8. Andrew Davis, P9. Kochoniak starting in P10. Failed to set a full racing, or a full qualifying lap, so he didn't set a lap at all. Yes. The ghost of Matthew Stotts starts P11. And Suchel starts last following a qualifying ban. So in other words, basically an 11-car race unless Matthew Stotts gets back here pretty quickly. And only 2 drivers are opting to start not on the medium compound. Luke Allen and Suchel. So there will be no compound compound deficit anywhere, basically, for the start of this Grand Prix, other than Luke Allen, as Suchel starting dead last. As everyone does their parking job, as we pull up to the mall, Kochoniak has failed to park. That won't help his race start any. When starting where he is, that's about the most important part of the Grand Prix. The sound effects failed to play, but we are green from Belgium. And it's pretty much all squares up at the start of at the front of the grid, but it is an absolute cluster going into T1 in the mid-pack, and it looks like Jurgensmeyer actually will take Fidel off the jump. And a driver who definitely lost, unsurprisingly, is Luke Allen on those hard tires. So, short-term loss, long-term gain, and speaking of loss, Boryoshi has lost control at Eau Rouge. I think he's been lucky enough to at least not hit anything on his way around, but an ugly mistake there. Fidel had a run on Jurgensmeyer, is not able to collect. And there's another yellow as Andrew Davis is around on the entry to the chicane. The intervals are having a meltdown. Not really a surprise to me, must be honest. Nickel with a huge catch there, heading through... Is that No Name? I think that's No Name. And the intervals are really having fun. I don't really know who's where at the moment. Satchel with the basically gaining 3 places just by not crashing. No chance getting the fun for that one, excuse me. Yeah, we're gonna have to just kind of live with that. As mentioned, still dealing with the last traces of a cold, so occasional coughing and sniffling will be abound. Matthew Daly has a pretty comfortable lead through just a singular lap. Especially helped by Fidel Fabian. Menus are difficult. Andrew Davis is out of the race. And there's a VSC or safety car, one or the other. It's a virtual. Because there's nothing up there. That helps Yoshi at least a tiny bit, who I guess he did in fact take damage from his spin up Eau Rouge. Actually just Radion. Yes, Eau Rouge is the right hand, Radion's the left hand, I'm fairly certain. Oh, Luke Allen has been hit with a speeding penalty for the VSC. The intervals are just even worse now. No, just get rid of them for the moment. We don't need them. Turn them back on at the end of this lap when hopefully they stop being dumb. AJ Knickel thought about trying to pass in Puhan, but wisely decided to just hang on to that because that's a terrible place to do it. I don't care how much faster you're going. And looking at how uncomfortable that Red Bull seems to be at the moment, I think AJ will probably find a better, safer opportunity later. If Fidel doesn't take himself out before AJ even gets the chance. DRS is enabled, the intervals have finally figured out what is going on. Luke Allen pits to serve the drive-through. The ghost of Matthew Stotts is battling Setchel. Not anymore. I mean, I think we all knew that battle wasn't going to last very long. It's an AI. Oh, AJ with a big fit of understeer through there. Kolchoniak with a penalty as he is off the track at Eau Rouge. Does he have a bunch of damage? No. So what, did he spin off, and, or did he, like, correct and come to a stop or something? I don't know what the heck happened there. Something tells me he didn't earn that penalty, though. Whatever the case was. Luke with a penalty. Choniak off the circuit again. Our Monaco GP winner having an absolute nightmare at the moment. Matthew Daly, unsurprisingly, with the fastest lap there, since, well, he's leading, and that's the first lap we've done under full speed. It looks as though AJ might have a shot at Fidel Fabian, although Fidel's got a lot of battery in hand. As he just shuffles up Eau Rouge at maximum speed. Oh my god! 216? Just embarrasses Jerkins. Oh dear lord, never mind. I believe Jurgensmeyer may have just cut him off at the apex. And that's put Fidel Fabian in the mud. I chose the wrong time to look away because I thought the Red Bull was just clear of the Merc. Robert's misery, yep, and yeah. You get a speed penalty when you try to fix your car. That's the game basically telling you to leave at that point. There is no hope, because you've just got penalized for trying to undo penalizing yourself. In general, just any speeding penalty under an unplanned pit stop is pretty much game over. So now it is down to AJ to attempt to pass Jurgensmeyer. Matthew Stotts, if you're watching this, if you get in here and do the next 18 laps, you'd score at least 1 point. I don't think I can invite him, or otherwise I would do it. Oh, AJ Cool. Almost invited Jurgensmeyer to the DNF screen there. Jamie Knock is now sort of with them as well. So if AJ does that again, then that Haas will be there to pick up the pieces. Excuse me again. Yeah, again. We're just gonna have to live with it. Would you rather clear me clearing my throat, or there be no stream? Can't have both. Or rather, can't have the stream without me clearing my throat, because my throat is still slightly congested. I took the Mucinex when I woke up, but it's worn off by now. I'm not gonna go in the middle of the broadcast and take another Mucinex, so even if I did, the Mucinex wouldn't kick in before the end of the Grand Prix, so we're just gonna have to live with it. She's getting very friendly with those outside curbs at Stavlo. Might have a move into the bus stop if he gets Blanchimont right. Oh, he has. Around the outside, he will attempt on the Merc. Has to go wide to sneak through the apex, but provisionally the move is completed for AJ Kinnickle, but Jurgensmeyer is very much close by. He doesn't try into La Source, but we have basically a very long straightaway coming up, and the Merc has, you know, plenty of horsepower and enough battery to try heading towards Lake Home. Up Eau Rouge, basically nose to tail, Jurgensmeyer pressing all of the buttons alongside the Ferrari, and should be clear. Yes, he's clear at the braking zone, and Jurgensmeyer retakes P2. What if you wanted to complete an overtake on track? But DRS said, beep! AJ Kinnickle just about finds the rear diffuser of Jurgensmeyer. That's the second close call that AJ has had to scramble out of to avoid a disastrous collision. Understeer for the Ferrari. Dirty air isn't nearly as bad as it was in the last few games, but it's still there, and it can still catch you out if you are not paying attention. But saves like that are proving that. I think AJ is probably paying attention. Just have that sudden inkling. I'm really hoping this Grand Prix is a slow burn, because Matthew Daly is on his way to Zolder at this point. Battle for second are the only two cars within DRS range of one another. You only have 10 cars on the track, and one of them is just an AI. Nichols gonna make another run at it. He doesn't even need the battery activated. He just has so much of a run. Jurgensmeyer's challenging the outside, but he can only do so much. And finally, AJ gets a huge snap oversteer, and all of that work is undone. Does he lose a spot to Jamie Knock? That's a no. One snap oversteer and 7 laps worth of effort to try and get ahead of that Merc just got erased. And there's probably a few choice Canadian words being spoken in the party chat right now. Words that I shouldn't say on stream, even though I slipped one earlier, but, well, we're not on TV, so... It was a good thing AJ caught that. I might have done a spit take there. If he had spun right there. He saves a outside curb moment at Stavlo 2. Jurgensmeyer with a less than optimal bus stop. That'll put AJ back in DRS range if he can stay about here. Because he's managed to evade the Haas. Big surprise there, not really. Oh yeah, AJ's close again. He might actually just have a chance here if he gets through a Rouge well. Not quite. Gets to within 2/10, but he can get no closer before the breaking point. I saw the intervals, I was like, ooh, there's somebody near each other. It's Luke Allen. He's catching AI. Whee! Laws of physics don't apply to him. He is a ghost. Ooh! Somebody call the Ghostbusters. And AJ is just trying to spin off those curbs. I just now looked at the chat. A race rundown? Well, Andrew Davis spun on the first lap. And Kochelniak had a bunch of damage from a spin in Eau Rouge and retired the car in the pit lane after getting a speeding penalty. Yoshi spun on lap 1, I think going through the chicane in the backstretch. And Matthew Daly has been completely uncontested. Especially after Fidel Fabian, who had the pace to contest him, got spun by Jurgensmeyer going into that same chicane. AJ just passed through the source while I'm busy rambling about previous race events, but the powers of DRS that be mean that Jurgensmeyer is going to get back ahead of the Ferrari anyway. What does AJ do at the braking point? Does he force it? Jurgensmeyer forced it more, but he's forced himself wide. They've both done that, actually, and there's more. They are wheel-to-wheel heading towards Rivage. I thought they were going to hit there. Oh, they do, but it's not much. AJ just barely slithers ahead. And finally, AJ might have just taken P2 back, but Jurgensmeyer's going to think about it. Puhan No, I don't think you want to do that, my friend. Oh, but if he gets a corner like that, you might as well get him on the exit. So the battle continues as Knickel and Jurgensmeyer continue to hashtag save the commentator. Oh my god. I thought they were gonna smack wheels there, but Jurgensmeyer once again reclaims P2 from the Ferrari. How did Fidel get here? Oh, he pit. I'm done. Huge run down the back straightaway for AJ Knickel, and huge oversteer down through Blanchimont, but Jurgensmeyer doesn't take the spot back from it, and AJ pits anyway, so now it's on to Jurgensmeyer to run a good lap and remain ahead of the Ferrari on the overcuts. That's not going to help, locking up like that. Suchel with the time penalty, Fidel Fabian down the inside of Suchel as this is happening. Just an oddly weak exit from the bus stop for the Red Bull. I didn't even notice Jamie Knock pit on the previous lap. Technically AJ remained ahead, but the undercut's gonna kinda have a lasting effect. And the Haas will get ahead of AJ. And DRS will get Fidel ahead of Suchel before any more shenanigans between these two take place like we saw at China. I don't know, I wasn't even paying attention to Luke, but he got ahead of Suchel as well, heading through Rivage. That's a weird place to make a pass. I'm beginning to sweat in my room. I don't know why. I think Jurgensmeyer should probably be pitting here. Yeah, he has to try to cover off AJ. Suchel has looped it out of Stavlo too, but he keeps the car rolling, so there's no safety car deployed for that. DRS, a massive run out of the bus stop, and I believe that will be AJ back into, well, yeah, his previous position right alongside with a better exit than Jurgensmeyer. And Jurgensmeyer has also been jumped by Jamie Knock. He must have had a really good pit cycle to be in the mix with these two. That's a huge run from Eau Rouge for the Haas, and AJ's just gonna have to sit there and wear that one. DRS is basically enabling a game of 200-mile-an-hour leapfrog between Jamie, AJ, and Jonathan, but AJ with another huge exit from the chicane section, and aggressive braking through Rivage puts AJ into P2. The Haas with not really enough aerodynamics to really fight that. I don't know where that yawn came from. I didn't wake up that long ago, honestly. Took a nap. Woke up at 2. There's a yeller. It's Fidel. Why am I Southern? Tyler McIntosh, when did you get here? Alright, it seems he's missed the S's. That's granted Luke Allen P5. Excuse me. Matthew Daly exits the pit lane and is, well, nowhere near any competition, so he doesn't have anything to worry about as he heads into the second half of this Grand Prix, a solid 10 seconds ahead of his teammate, who's currently fighting for his life to keep Jamie Knock at bay. I don't think DRS is going to allow AJ to do so, though. And press the funny go fast button, and the Haas is well clear of that Ferrari. Running very low wings on the Haas, probably to compensate for its miserable top speed normally. But then you give it DRS and some battery and some slipstream off of Ferrari, and anything can go fast in a straight line, really. Dylan Thomas is behind Boryoshi with the clear tire advantage at the moment. It's hard not to watch the battle for P2, as AJ is getting a huge run through Puhan again, the advanced aerodynamics of the Ferrari over the Haas. Paying out dividends again. It's just the kind of overtakes that you don't ever see in equal cars, because everybody's on the same playing field. Friedel gets ahead of Luke Allen into the S's. That's, again, another place you don't really see overtakes in modern F1. Jamie Knock has spun it at Stavelo 2. This corner is just a resident sleeper when it comes to the danger it poses to spinning out and costing you precious seconds. Or parts of your car in worst case scenarios, but I think Jamie kept it away from those, at the very least. Alright, maybe he didn't. I tell a lie. He did not keep it away from the wall, so he has some degree of damage to his Haas, which is going to take him freshly out of contention. Whereas he was on track for a podium before that. Despite Fidel being clobbered by Jurgensmeyer on lap 3 or so, and despite his own mistake heading through the S's, he is only 7 seconds removed from the podium, and he has got the best car on the grid, so he could still get to Jurgensmeyer if he plays his cards right. Why'd I go that way? Scores the fastest lap that he already had before that with a 47.97, I believe that time was. Jamie Knock could contest that, if only because he's on medium tires. He's about the only one that's going to have any risk to that time. Or, what? That's going to have any chance of taking that time away from Matthew Daly. I guess we'll know in about 2 minutes. Penalties aren't going to help. Dylan cannot find a move heading down the back straightaway, despite having DRS advantage. I think he's running slightly higher wings, so he does not have a chance to pass the Alpine. Knock's battery is pretty highly charged, so he also has that going for him in his attempt to try and steal the fastest lap from Matthew Daly. And based on the fact that he was pushing the battery there, he knows too Matthew Daly ups the ante to a 47.815. So there's, if nothing else, a pretty clear reminder of what Jamie Knox's target time is going to be. Dylan Thomas has followed Boriyoshi right up to the rear diffuser of his teammate Luke Allen. Of Yoshi's teammate, rather. Oh yeah, yep, 47.109 I believe that says. 47.1 nonetheless. Lights up the timing sheets, takes the fastest lap. I don't think even Matthew can top that right now. Not with hard tires. As Luke makes way for his teammate and gets promptly turned by Dylan Thomas, who didn't really leave Luke a lane out there. As the as the short-noticed steward of the commentator, I think that one might be on Dylan. So I guess it's a good thing that Luke let Yoshi get away when he did, because he's basically sacrificed himself for the team. Now, Jurgensmeyer has caught up to AJ little by little, and the time we spent in the mid-pack watching the Alpines and Dylan Thomas. Not quite in range for an overtake, though, unless AJ slips up through Eau Rouge, which he doesn't. He actually takes it way better. And Yoshi also with damage? That's yikes. So Dylan doesn't pit, because he apparently, I guess, didn't get damage from that. Obviously Luke did, because he got turned into a wall. And Luke's taking on some soft tires, so might be able to see him contest for that fastest lap. They have to get away from Setchel first, though. Suddenly, Jamie Knox finds himself with some companions, as after pitting, Boriyoshi comes out just ahead of him. He will have the better tires than the Haas, though. So, I am thinking that once those tires are up to their operating window, that Yoshi's going to be able to drive away. My nose is starting to get stuffy. You probably just hear that just now when I breathed. Yoshi with the time penalty, probably trying to stay away from the Haas behind. This time Jurgensmeyer is considerably closer to that Ferrari. AJ moves to the inside. Jurgensmeyer says, I don't care, but he is powerless to shoot on the outside with these tires. AJ with a time penalty, but I know darn well he's let off, at least he's let off there even, so it's hard to really say that that's fair. And I've seen him let off at least one other time, on a time where he got a penalty, or warning. But, penalty or otherwise, that still put Jurgensmeyer into P2, because it was still a mistake nonetheless. Oh my god. do. Oh my god. I hope I got my mic out of the controller before I did that. My word, the run AJ just got heading through Blanchamont there. We're good. No contact, barely. Close quarters. Oh god, that was a spin waiting to happen right there, but miraculously, nothing happened. Heading through the source. There's some idiot with no muffler in their car outside my house. Guys, there's 4 inches of snow on the ground. Please mind your safety and don't try this at home. Or anywhere. Well, AJ couldn't get it done out of the bus stop and into the source, but now he's gonna have the go fast button, and this time I don't think Jurgensmeyer can hope to stop it. Little wide through the Lake Home, but I don't think that'll matter. He's still there on the back of AJ, but he doesn't have a whole lot of battery to his name. Setchel gets a penalty, as he's trying to keep Luke Allen at bay for net P8, as Matthew Stotts is not being counted, due to the fact that it's just his AI. At this point, Matthew Stotts' AI could be a separate driver from Matthew Stotts, and he would probably be not last in the standings, simply because of how often Matthew Stotts' AI has to run a whole Grand Prix. Yeah, there's not really a chance there for Jurgensmeyer, so we'll just cut away to this battle to be not last between Luke and Setchel. As they both overtake Matthew Stotts' AI. Watch the intervals, Jurgensmeyer didn't have a chance, but Luke Allen absolutely does, and just screeches ahead of the Williams and into P8. But considering that Jamie Knock is 20 seconds up the road, I think that's probably about as far as Allen's going to get. And now he'd probably best just make sure he keeps Setchel in his mirror. Let's see if Jonathan has a chance this time around as we head on to what I believe to be, oh no, it's 3 laps to go. Yeah, it's gonna be a no. Luke Allen with yet another penalty. What does that put him at back there? 6. Same with Setchel, so neither one's really gonna lose anything from that. AJ Knickel has the penalty, so ultimately Jurgensmeyer doesn't even have to pass him to take P2 in this race. And Fidel's not too far removed either. is Jamie Knockett's penalty, while we're on the subject of penalties. If, looks like if Fidel can grab another half a second on AJ, he will technically be provisionally, unofficially, on the podium. But then again, as a steward, I can assure you that AJ submits about 8 different clips every week about penalties that he doesn't deserve, so... Or penalties that he thinks he doesn't deserve. He deserves some of them, but not all. But I would be kind of surprised if that penalty stays, simply because I literally watched him let off when he got that penalty, and the game still said, no. No, L ratio, cope, seed, mauled. So I guess if anything in Jurgensmeyer's case, you might as well try and pass him anyway. And now Jurgensmeyer is just straight up out of DRS range, so things sit exactly as they are. AJ is going to be, well, P2. He's gotten all of the understeer out of his system, so... pending a penalty removal from Yoshi, because I haven't really been paying attention to when he's gotten his. This could be a move for P5. At least take something back from the AlphaTauri that took Luke Allen out of contention, and that was a very decisive move, but it certainly worked. He might have even left himself time to... Never mind. Never mind, Dylan Thomas got a penalty, probably distracted by what just happened. And so now it doesn't really matter what Yoshi does. Wow, Fidel has really turned on the jets. We're going down the back straightaway here. Well, actually no. Back straightaway. Which one is the back straightaway? Is it this one, or is it the one running from Stavlo to the bus stop? I think they're kind of both the back straight. Jurgensmeyer is going to have a golden opportunity here. But he can't quite use it, because AJ also has a bunch of battery left. Second, third, and fourth nose to tail, as we head on to the final lap of the Grand Prix. Jurgensmeyer just like, you really think you were fooling anybody with that? And the only place you can really get it done from here to the start-finish is the bus stop, because nobody in their right mind passes into Puhan. And, well, there are no other braking zones from here to there, so... I mean, this is not much, and you'll usually just get switchbacked on the exit of the other part of the S's, or going into the two Stavlos, so... And can Jurgensmeyer create an attempt at a pass heading towards the bus stop? From 5/10 back, I'm gonna go ahead and guess that that's no. The gap came down a lot in the last 2 laps, but ultimately Matthew Daly has made himself look like Matthew Schumacher. He also takes the fastest lap just to flex on everybody else with a 45.3. Please touch some grass now that you've won this Grand Prix, Matthew. Provisionally mad AJ Kinnickle P2 after current penalties P4. Kind of thinking, considering I watched AJ let off when he got that penalty, that's going to be removed. And Jurgensmeyer will probably end up being the one on the podium with the 2 Ferraris. Boryoshi recovers from a lap 1 meltdown for P5, and then destroys Dylan Thomas in a symbolic takedown. Jamie Knock with P7 after running near the front runners for a while in the Haas. Can't wait to see the video title from Luke Allen later, as he will come across the line for P8, should have probably been P6. And Suchel, the last of the running cars, grabs 2 points. More iconic duo than ARC Formula 1 and Ferrari winning everything. It's like the universe that should have been if the Ferrari strategists weren't wearing clown masks. Alternate timeline where, well, honestly, kind of the worst timeline, just simply because I prefer Red Bull as a team. But that's just actual sporting opinion, nothing to do with AF1. I just personally prefer when there's a battle for the win and the leader didn't win the race by half a sector. But that's not on me to call, so... only one more round to go in the realistic F1 championship. And it is the Japanese Grand Prix to close things out. The actual next race is Monday's GT3 event, which I can actually look at what that is because the race check-in is already up. That will be Circuit of the Americas. And we will meet again then, because by then I should no longer be sick.